Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah.
it begs the question though that okay, are we supposed to not offend? Are we supposed to not offend?
We
Are we?
like
I think
supposed to is a loaded
no, I
phrase.
think I think we are supposed to offend, but that offense
does that mean?
should be related to something that is difficult to talk about. Like there are usually things that are difficult to talk about, and if you are offended by it, it should be something for you to reflect on. Like,
I love
why
how
are
Lelo
you
says-
offended?
Yeah.
I don't know, it's like, bro, but this is what I think. I think there's a balance, and I agree with what Brian said. But there's always a balance, as in, I agree. I see where you're coming from. It's like, am I supposed to do something just because a person feels
Yeah.
offended? How can I control their like offense to me? You know, or
Mhm.
like, am I supposed to say wrong things or not say what I want to say just because it will offend certain people?
Yeah.
And that I think it's a strong balance. There's a careful balance.
Can we just ask question?
Even
I
that
mean,
is.
for example, like if someone got offended, I could ask from a genuine place, hey, can you explain why you got offended? Then I could understand what they were thinking. I could explain to them what I was thinking instead of just assuming that we were, or leaving at the fact that we offended someone.
Yeah,
We
but
could
that-
try
that-
to understand each other.
That's asking a lot from
Beautiful.
someone as well, right?
But
Like
the
not everyone
thing-
is like once they get offended, they're like, okay, well, you know what?
But
Let
I
me
feel
analyze
like that's
why.
why we are in a lot of
yeah,
problems.
So that definitely doesn't like it. It's not likely to happen, or it doesn't happen as
Fine,
more often.
It's not
fine.
practical.
I'm not saying it shouldn't happen, but
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
saying
yeah.
it doesn't happen. But no,
Fine.
getting to what Lero was saying, I think it's like a balance of rights,
Mhm.
because no rights occur in vacuum. For example, you have a right to freedom,
Mm-hmm.
but does that mean you can walk into the White House?
No.
So, or like we have a right to live wherever we want, but does
Mhm.
that mean you can build a house in like one of the old Nepali, buildings that are like culturally preserved? That
Mhm.
means no. So,
Do you-
like all kind of rights are in
Mhm.
subject. So that means you have right to say whatever you want.
Yeah.
But does that mean you have a right to say, like cause someone direct tangible harm?
Mhm.
It's like, do you have a right to order someone to hit someone, and that
Mhm.
actually happens?
Mhm.
So that's probably no. So if we balance out those rights, that means you definitely have a right to say, like not say bless you.
Mhm.
And I agree, because those are small things,
Mhm.
but that's because the harms are very less.
Mhm.
There are kind of no harms.
Yeah.
And I think maybe what you prioritize more is how you feel about it than how the person will feel, because there is
Mhm.
less harms.
Mhm.
But I'm sure you would not say something like, "Oh, fire," in like a crowded theater,
Yeah.
when it could cause panic.
Yeah.
Because you realize even though that you have those rights,
Yeah.
your rights don't matter as much as maybe say harm to all these people.
Exactly.
But when you adjust the harms in terms of bless you, it's like not much. So I feel that's how you.
Yeah, that's more or less how I think about it. It's like because when I look at the things, like I could say something about a math. Let's say I talk about math, a debate about math. I know that could potentially cause harm, but
About meth.
math, math,
Oh.
Methamphetamine.
maths,
Oh.
maths.
Yeah.
We call it maths, but I don't know,
Yeah, maths.
Americans. And then I could probably debate on math more freely than I could debate on, let's say, gender and pronouns, because I know whatever I say may potentially cause harm, but I feel like it's a contained kind of harm. So knowing that kind of makes me decide whether to actually try to, to be in the position where I can offend or not.
Are you talking about like how some things have
Yeah.
consequences
Yeah,
when
yeah,
you say things?
yeah. So in my level of this is very consequential. Billion people die, all of us die, and then there's no consequence. For me, bless you is very low on the
Yeah.
scale, and that gives me the leeway or the
Hmm.
Yeah.
I agree.
the probability. I mean, not probability, but the
freedom to.
freedom to try to do what I think is best,
That's
which
good.
is not necessarily not saying bless you, but showing courtesy in other ways.
Yeah.
But if that's I'm trying
Like
to
someone's
answer.
scale could be different
Yeah,
on
yeah.
the bless you, how
Yeah,
much
yeah,
you
yeah,
like
yeah.
it.
True. But I still know that even if the person thinks the whole world is gonna die, when
Yeah.
I don't say bless you,
Yeah.
I still believe
Yes,
that
because you have
it's
to
a-
operate on your own
yeah,
scale.
Yeah.
I agree.
I still believe that my own scale is kind of well
I'm
calibrated compared to the person. Because knowing, I feel like
Yeah, that's why you have your skill.
Yeah, yeah.
Because you feel it's well calibrated.
Yes.
If
But
you
like-
felt it
Okay,
wasn't.
yeah,
At one
yeah.
point, but at one point, do you start reflecting to adjust your scale? Because, for example, what if on your scale, not saying the right pronouns is like very low, and for other people is like very high because it's consequential.
Okay.
So like, when do you start thinking?
I
about
feel like
readjusting
data
your
really
skills?
gives us better understanding. I'm not saying statistics are concise or whatever,
But it is important.
but I think data,
Statistics are
yeah,
important,
yeah,
yes.
are important.
No,
And
statistics
knowing
are like-
knowing how many people died because they didn't hear bless you in their lives, versus those people who died because they were misgendered
100%.
or
But
view-
no, but
their
that is-
gender is viewed as
Yeah.
not.
No, but that is
Not
also
agender.
that's also like a jump between like causes.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
like saying, if, for example, if I misgender everyone I see here, does that how many people will die statistically?
No, but yeah, now we are talking about.
It's like we jumped from. Like, I agree there have
Maybe
been
here,
violence based on like
but in a
gender
bigger
or gender.
context,
That's not a
in the
causal
whole world.
relationship.
We're talking about like trends and versus like individual acts, right? Like
Yeah.
like you not saying bless you is not going to lead to someone dying.
But maybe the entire society being less considerate of people could
Yeah.
lead to some harm.
Yeah.
Which we don't see as clearly.
Like in general, to me, like the idea of saying bless you is like part of what builds like a considerate society, maybe.
Yeah.
Like it's like a small inconvenience for yourself
Mm-hmm.
that like is like even a minor, if not inconsequential, like positive to the other person.
Yeah.
But I still choose to do that
That's good.
because I want to show my consideration.
Yeah. Can I add? Yeah, I like what Senchan said about like being considerate. That's like the main thing, regardless of what we're saying. Like we
Yeah.
should like being considerate to each other is like a very human nature or like a trait that I want to foster, right? But not a but. I don't think I'm arguing on the fact. I'm not against saying bless you. But will you think about why some people say bless you? Do we need to think about it? Like, for example, when you were talking about like rights and the things you do, earlier you were asking about, you might have the rights to walk anywhere you want, but like would you walk into the White House? Like you throw these scenarios, right? And then all I can think about is, why would I be trying to walk into the White House? Like if I was trying to walk into the White House, there must be something that led to that.
Yeah, I want to
Those
see
are still
I want to see the
important.
painting.
Huh?
I want to see.
I want a selfie with Joe Biden.
I want to. I want to see. Number one, a painting of Abraham Lincoln. Then I want to see the nuclear codes.
Okay, that was it. Let's say that was the reason.
Freedom of
Why
information.
was it not
Yeah.
acceptable? And why did this when everyone else know without having to explicitly say that, hey, you cannot walk into the White House just because you wanted to see the paintings?
Yeah.
Why did this person alone thought that they could do that? There must be a reason.
Yeah.
Why is this person thinking?
So what do we do with the reason though? What does the reason do?
We
Does
can
it justify
understand-
anything?
We can understand about
So-
how
so
mental illnesses, mental disorders, just are different ways of thinking.
Yeah, but okay, regardless of whether there's a reason behind it, the person will still be stopped, Or like example, there's a person who wants to visit your room, your summer house.
They will still be stopped. Yes.
Yes, and they should kind of still be stopped, and then maybe we can find out their justification. But that's almost secondary. Like it
Yeah.
must still happen. Like
Yeah.
no
Yeah.
one must be allowed to get inside your.
Yeah.
I agree with
Yes.
that.